I
Good morning.
know we won't have Jason or Deborah today. They're at a grant meeting.
100% didn't know if that would join
okay.
but I'm happy to be here.
Oh, Michael, we can't hear you.
Okay. How about now?
Yep.
Better.
Stand by.
Okay. And Cindy and Melvet, do we know?
Cindy should be joining. I haven't heard from Melvet either way.
Okay.
I'm assuming
You guys hear me
Megan's.
now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll do it like this.
I'm assuming Megan's joining because she asked for access to the files.
Okay, great. I don't know if we'll be able to approve minutes without more people or probably not, right? I think that's not enough to advise.
Right. I think if we
I think we would need like at
I
least
think we need two more, one or two more.
Yeah.
Well, who was at the last meeting?
Yeah, because we had Deborah last time and Michael was able to fill in for Melvat.
Hi.
Can
You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were just trying to figure out if we're able to approve minutes with this group here, or if we need more.
Last time we had Deborah, Denise, and Megan. In addition to the two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need one more
I
person.
think we need one more. Okay, so we can table that for next time. I assume you guys have been in touch with Denise? Has she kind of come back to
She actually just got back to
or
town
is she taking
yesterday.
more time? Sorry.
She just got back to town yesterday. She went on vacation for last week and was asking about the state budget on Saturday. So I think she's coming back to things.
Okay. Be a bit of a distraction at least.
Exactly.
Okay, so regional conference. Did you guys talk with Natalie at all? Did she?
I haven't had a chance yet.
So Natalie was there from the museum, and so was I. So Michael, this was like kind of like all the New England states coming together in Rhode Island, representatives from each state, just talking about kind of what they're doing, and then being that it was held in Rhode Island had some programming. They talked a little bit about what they're doing. Their marketing company was there talking about their marketing efforts, and sorry?
Did they give an indication as to how long they've had a marketing company? I feel like that's pretty new. And I wonder,
it seemed new.
They got a big bump
stuff
in
is
their
already in the
budget
works.
last year.
Yeah. So let's see. I took a lot of notes. Um, but like some of the key takeaways I had were um that first of all, like a lot of, not a lot, but some states are looking at this more than just going through 2026. I mean, you guys probably know that like some events have already started based on like the states and what events, happened before. Some of them are planning to go through like 2030 and beyond. Um, so I wasn't really sure if that's something that I know our commission doesn't extend much further, but I didn't know if that was something that had been talked about in Connecticut is going beyond 2026.
To triple check, I think we go through December 31st, 2028,
Okay.
which is a very weird date, to be honest. Because it's a lot beyond 26, more than just reporting, but
Mhm.
not quite to the end of the Rev War. So I'm not quite sure how that date was chosen, but
I feel like I remember from like way up front in the beginning that it does go till 2028 for winding down, right? The main peak is in 26 and then winding down by 28.
yeah, it just feels like a very long wind down.
Um, so well, another thing that was interesting, the Newport Museum spoke about their fundraising efforts and how this has been and kind of how they've gone about it. They've found that this is some of the easiest money that they've ever raised in their life. And they talked a lot about kind of the, you know, bipartisan interest, how this is just something that everyone can really get behind, and the importance of bringing in the nostalgia aspect and how there's just such emotion that is generated when talking about these types of big ideals and this, the founding of the country, the importance of using imagery, talked about like the tall ships, for example, and telling stories and inclusive stories.
And Ariane, the tall ships are going to be in Newport, right?
Yeah, there's a couple. I think they're going to be in 3 different places. I think they're going, I forget what they said. It was like either from south to north or north to south, but maybe they end in Boston. I don't know. There's 3, it's like 3 different stops that's planned.
It's a lot more. I think it might be 3 within like this group of states, but they're also going to be in Virginia, Baltimore. I think they're going down to New Orleans. Yeah, it's intense. At least one of them is coming across the Atlantic.
Oh,
Like
wow.
there are some British ships that come for this. Um, but we weren't able
Do
to
we have
get.
some sort of warning system set up about the British ships coming?
We'll have to figure that out.
Okay.
Ringing a bell, something. But yeah, we weren't able to get the pier done in New London, so we are not able to really take anything but the smallest of tall ships. And Mystic Seaport is planning on taking some of those, I believe,
Okay.
but nothing,
Um,
nothing big and impressive.
Yeah, well, I mean, and it's funny because that is so, it seems ingrained in people's minds from the bicentennial. I think people who are of the age to remember that. I've talked to people who've said, that they went as a family from one state to the other. They kind of followed the ships up and attended the events in various states back then. So yeah, I think that's kind of key. Um, there's the youth bureau that I wasn't aware of. You guys probably know about this, but somebody from the youth bureau spoke and I thought it was very interesting. So basically, it's a group of young people from all across the country, representing like all the states, and they're kind of in all different fields. So from lawyers to graphic designers, they are just kind of there to help in any way and do projects. And they've said they've created TikTok campaigns, and they've, done lots of different types of projects. So I think they could be a really good resource for any organizations who maybe don't have access to younger people, but want that input. And and there's a whole website for that. What else? They really would love to do more like multi-state events. I didn't really know about the one that kind of went from starting at the old State House and going through all those various states. So I talked briefly with Vermont, who would be really excited about doing something with Connecticut, being that Ethan Allen was from Connecticut and then moved to Vermont, and how Connecticut was founded by, or Vermont was founded by people from Connecticut. And I didn't even know that he said that for about 6 months, Vermont was named New Connecticut. So he thought it would be great to do something together. And then 2026 is going to be the next conference, and maybe the last. I mean, certainly then, a bigger one. And they're looking for hosts. So I don't really know what that entails. They would love a host, a state that hasn't already hosted. But it was pretty short. I mean, this was like a lot, like I spent more time in the car driving, like over 2 hours to get there, and then over 2 hours to get back. And the actual event was, I mean, they had some other things that you could have done before or after, but the actual conference was only a couple of hours, so it was pretty short.
I think if we could get an organization to co-host, we could do one. I think we'd have to figure out who the right org is.
Mm-hmm.
I think Newport is really easy. Fort Ticonderoga was 2 years ago. The battlefield in Saratoga was last year. It keeps coinciding with the Connecticut League of Museums conference, so we keep having to choose between the two.
Yeah.
Um,
I wonder if we wanted to host and we could figure out how to do it, if they would switch the week.
I think they would. It was mostly the host that chose the
Oh, okay.
date options.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point they talked about switching, but it became too hard. But I think we could. I'm thinking we could possibly do a Ridgefield or a Mystic. I think those are the easiest. I think there are good sites in Lebanon, but there's not a lot to do there other than visit the Historical Society and the John Trumbull House. And I don't know if there's a space big enough for 50 or 60 people. Yeah. So I think we can definitely talk about it and see if we want to offer. It'd be fun.
And it was like, I don't know what happened. I didn't hear, but they had advertised that Secretary Amore was going to speak, and he didn't, like, I didn't see him there at all. Like, I saw some of the people I know from his office, but not him.
I think he frequently has to back out because I've now met him at a couple of these. And at least once he's had to leave early, so on and so forth.
I don't think from what I gather, he doesn't seem like he loves speaking. Like he would be happy to just have other, like his staff, like, he's confident enough in his staff to do the speaking. But I don't know. He was a teacher, right? Maybe he's had enough speaking in his life. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it was great. It was great to meet other people in here. Some of like what they're doing and yeah. All right. Moving on to affiliate programs. So there were only two new ones. They both looked fine to me. Library in the town.
Jason
Any,
and Deborah did review and they put in votes on the sheet. So they said yes to both.
yeah. Okay. So no issues from you, Michael, or
No, I saw them both. They both look good.
okay. So I think we can, oh, can we not vote though?
I
Or
actually,
can we consider that the votes online are votes?
That's my vote. I don't know if that is real or not, but
um, I want to say technically when we put together the bylaws, people decided, and I'm saying people because I don't remember the conversation who said what, not to allow votes by proxy.
Okay.
So we were not going to allow any non
Present.
yeah. voting.
Those that were not present. Okay.
So I think technically that means we don't have enough to vote.
do you want to, because Jason and Deborah are together, I think. Do you want to text them and see if they can hop in for a minute?
Good thinking.
Or even just one of them. We only need one,
Right.
right? So, Rhode Island is doing the trees, like one tree in every town or whatever.
They
They're also trying, sorry.
they got into every town already.
I don't know what the distribution plan is. I had heard about that back in January, February, whenever we had our conference in DC with the other secretaries, and they had said that that was their plan. And they had like seedlings or something. And then they were going to do like a little ceremony. I mean, obviously they're so small, so it's easier for them. But they were going to do a little ceremony in every place, every town. But they're also looking for some kind of tangible item to like a more of a keepsake. So like whether it's a commemorative coin, some kind of guide, something that's more like tangible. So
Interesting.
I thought that was like a good idea that I hadn't heard us talking about. My fear is always that, not fear, but I'm always thinking like how do we make sure that this is remembered moving forward? Like, it's not like we do all this planning and then there's nothing to show for it after. Like, what's the thing that continues on into the future?
I love your idea of a coin, and I'm now getting flashback memories of they were either like the JFK 50-cent coins that were from the 200-year celebration, or maybe they were quarters. They might have been the JFK ones though. And if we made one a nice coin on one side Connecticut, on the other 250, that would be cool. I'd like that. They call them Challenger coins too, like these nice ones you see sometimes in the military. Those would be awesome. And I like the lapel pins that we have as well in alignment. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think, someone's doing coins and I'm trying to think who. And I just don't remember if it was the National Commission or one of the states. I think it might be the National Commission. And I think
That would make sense,
yeah,
right?
they've now gone all in on merch. Like you can get there. I think the merch shop is open, or they just told us about it and it opens next week or something like that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, my brain is
Yeah, it's not on their website yet.
okay.
Let's, but what is on their website is a countdown that now says 1 year, 0 months. So that.
Uh, I don't like countdowns. Stress me out. Um,
So, other updates on affiliates. I have started reaching out to the people I'm supposed to reach out to. I didn't do it until this week, but I have started. I'm sorry, it was late. With the chambers, I'm trying to time it with another thing another message I need to get to them. So that will happen as soon as I can finalize that other message, which should be, hope, today. Um, but I just didn't want to send something out twice. So hopefully, and I started using it as kind of like maybe a way to have a conversation, like with the Boys and Girls Club. I don't even know if they've thought about doing anything. So it's like, maybe we could have a conversation about that and how we could work together on something, or I don't know.
We were about to start scheduling or trying to schedule some time for like Jason or Denise to go talk to chambers. Do we want to coordinate that if you're doing that outreach now? Somehow.
Yeah. Um, do you want, what I could say in the email is I can include like your email address
Mhm.
and say like if you would like Jason or Denise to come speak with you or at an upcoming event, like reach out to Rachel.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Just like one sentence and CC me on it.
Okay.
That way it's not, doesn't look like we have our wires crossed.
Yeah.
FYI, Jason just thumbs up my text, so I'm assuming he and or Deborah will appear momentarily.
Okay.
And from what I've heard from other commissioners who were doing outreach for affiliates, well, I guess I haven't heard a whole lot. I know Tom is doing some outreach to his group. Amherst had already done it a while back, and I've haven't heard much back from anybody else. So
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Sorry about that.
Hi,
Not on my calendar.
Hi.
it's okay.
Right. I know you need to get back to Logris and what's going on there, so I think nobody had any concerns about the two affiliate applications that came through.
Yeah.
So I think we can just vote and then go ahead. But I can't motion.
You
Yeah.
can't what?
Would somebody like to make a motion to approve these two affiliates?
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
Wait, you're saying I can't proxy vote?
You can,
You
you're a
vote.
member of the governance subcommittee.
Here.
great. So all in favor of approving these two as
Aye.
affiliates? I think everyone. No one opposed. So we now have two new affiliates.
Thanks, Jason.
Yay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
I know the League of Women Voters is already an affiliate, but I am meeting with them in about a half hour to kind of go over everything that we're doing and everything they're doing, and this is on our list. So I know we're gonna try and be talking about it more. Anything else? Aside from the chambers, is there anyone else you guys are like trying to actually meet with and get in front of?
I think that's a big one. And it's mostly because local committees have come to us and said that they've talked to businesses and businesses really don't get a sense of what's in it for them. So they're hoping for a little more help to kind of make it clear that supporting the 250th is a win-win. So that is kind of the messaging we're hoping to share with people. Yeah.
I'll just say, I think Cindy, you referenced Mystic. I love the Seaport. I love Mystic Seaport. I don't know if there's any opportunities for overlaps with them. Maybe there already has been. I'm not 100% sure, but they're great. Just putting that out there.
Agreed. They're, I think they're definitely involved. They're an affiliate. They come to a lot of our meetings. They are working on stuff. I'm not sure, haven't heard exactly what, other than we were in some early conversations when we were hoping that tall ships was going to be a bigger thing. And now it's really become that just like their internal thing. I don't think they have any exhibits coming up, but in general, they're supportive and they're on board. It's just a question of what that's going to end up looking like. And I don't know the answer to that.
Are you guys planning on being at any Juneteenth events?
Yes, personally, not necessarily commission wise.
Mm,
I think just really last year we really didn't get a lot of volunteers for tabling and stuff.
mhm.
And it then becomes what do we say yes to, what do we say no to? And it became really hard to say yes or no to stuff. So we do have the tabling kits that we've made available. They're at least the Enfield local committee is borrowing them for like 4th of July events. Ridgefield borrowed the parade banner for their Memorial Day parade. So we're hoping more of that can happen.
Mhm.
I heard from a town that's thinking about borrowing it for something in October.
Cool.
So.
Good. And then they man it and we're not choosing what we are
Yeah.
supporting.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, it got really complicated without lots and lots of volunteers doing it.
Yeah.
Or it felt complicated. Maybe it wasn't, but it felt it.
It
So
is.
choosing friends.
Definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will
Um,
be at Bonanza, which is July 5th in Bushnell Park. And that's mostly because we're hoping to do anything next year in partnership with them on the 4th of July.
mm,
So that's like the one bigger event that we've been making an effort to be more involved with.
mhm.
So we'll see outside of that.
Okay. All right. Anything else? All right. Great. So I guess see you in a couple of weeks. The next one.
One last group of affiliates before the full commission meeting.
Okay.
July is almost here. Jesus.
Mm. Crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, have a great day. Great
You too.
weekend.